today's video, I was thinking that I will start with a monthly favourites. So I'm just going to be talking through the things that I've really enjoyed this August, because we're now in September. So I'm just going to run you through a few of the things that I can't really live without right now. So yeah, if this sounds up your street, then stay tuned. I just want to say quickly as well a big thank you to everybody supporting my channel. Like, it really does mean a lot to me. So for all those likes, all those subscribes, even the little comments, like, it does mean a hell of a lot to me. Keep at it, guys, please. It honestly does mean the world. So this little share fest is for you. So first off, I need to tell you about this. This is the Glam Glow Moisturiser. It's Mega Illuminating Moisturiser, the Glow Starter, and wow, this under makeup. So I used this quite recently, I think in one of my videos. I think it was like the long wear dewy makeup. I don't even know if it's up yet. I'll make sure actually that I post that before this video, so then you all get to see like my actual skin in it. But I say in the video I've used a new skincare routine, and I'd been using like my new toner, cleanser, serum. I'd got like a whole new skincare routine because I'm trying to like really look after my skin now, especially because I'm wearing like so much more makeup. So I'm really trying to like keep it clean, keep it fresh, hydrated. And I can't remember who actually recommended this, but I think it was it Steph Tom's? I think it could have been Steph Tom's. So anyway, I purchased it and it's been sat in my drawer for probably 2 months. Like, it must be at least 2 months. And I got it out probably about 3 weeks ago and was using it after like my whole skincare routine. I've been using this as like the moisturiser that I use before makeup, and the glow that it gives your skin is just absolutely incredible. It is a little bit pricey. I'll link everything down below just so you can see. But honestly, it is worth it. I've been using it for like if I want that glow from within, but I don't want to cake on like loads of highlighter and stuff. Like, because I have quite oily skin, I do need to make sure that like I do set what needs setting, but this just gives like such a lovely like healthy glow to your skin. Even this just on its own, I went out a couple of weeks ago, I used that and some tinted moisturiser sort of thing. I covered my acne scars with like a high coverage concealer, just like a no makeup, and I got so many compliments like, oh my god, you are looking so fresh. Like, I looked like I'd slept. Like, what even is that? So honestly, guys, do give it a try, because I can't even say how nice it is on the skin, but under makeup as well, you can still see that freshness coming from under your foundation. It is magic. So next up, we do actually have like another recommended, and this was actually recommended by Robert Welsh. Yes, that man, anything that he says, I'm like, I hang off every word that comes out of his mouth. And he was talking about the e.l.f. Poreless Putty. He did like a full face of e.l.f. Check out his channel if you are like a proper makeup junkie, because he does like so many full face of or tips and tricks and things like that. He's really good. So this was one of his recommended, and it was for texture on the skin. This is like a pore filling primer, but it is not silicone. It's not like Porefessional. I don't even know. I don't know how I can show you. That is how it looks, and the sort of texture is almost like, I want to say like a thick cream, but it blends away like into nothing. And what it does, it takes that like shine, that greasy shine, that away from your skin. It just smooths everything over and takes away that like oiliness, and it sits so well under your makeup. Honestly, it is a putty. It just is, and it's fantastic for any sort of like oily skin girls out there, or if you're a little bit conscious of texture or anything like that. Honestly, do give this a go, because it just makes your skin that little bit more flawless, but without looking unnatural, if you get what I mean. Very, very good. And it also really helps with like the longevity. I found if I use this on my nose, like on my actual nose that gets oily, it takes a lot longer for my nose to get oily. So yeah, honestly, this is a winner. Next up, we have yet another recommendation by Robert Welsh. I was watching a Rebecca Capel makeup video, and she said that Robert Welsh had suggested that on one of his videos. This is the Misha M Perfect Cover BB Cream. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is like a Korean beauty brand. I picked this up in TK Maxx. Now, I love TK Maxx for beauty, because you can find so many like out there makeup brands or expensive makeup brands, and they just put everything. It's just like a jumble sale, isn't it? They just throw it all in, you have a root about, and there are some beauties in there. Now, this gives such a gorgeous finish to the skin. You see BB cream and you think, low coverage, not very long lasting, scrap that. High coverage, very, very high coverage, but without looking cakey and unrealistic. It just gives a really gorgeous finish to the skin. I haven't actually tried anything like it before. I'll go as far to say that. Honestly, if you haven't, get to know. And it says on here, it's like brightening, wrinkle caring benefits. It's basically got it all. It's got SPF in it. Like, it's almost like skincare and makeup in one, and I don't think you can really ever go wrong with anything like that. So yeah, that is another thing that I've really, really been loving. I feel like this is just one of those things that nobody really talks about. Like, I'd never heard of the brand. I don't know if that's my fault, but I hadn't heard of it. I didn't really know anything about it until I saw it recommended. So hopefully some of you out there will think, wow, I really need some sort of high coverage, flawless looking skin in my life, and this is it. So next up, we have like another skin thing. It's all about the skin. Is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. Now, this is so nice for before makeup, after makeup, to like soak up all those powders and stuff, give you a nice glow as like a refresher mist. It's really, really nice for getting that like fresh, plumping feeling to your skin, getting it nice and hydrated and just making it feel youthful. It's so nice, and I don't think it necessarily, I can't really say it helps with the longevity of my makeup or anything like that. It's just that plump, fresh, glowy feel. That's what it does. So if you're looking for something long wearing or wanting to help with the longevity of your makeup, this isn't the answer to that, but it is the answer to that dry, cakey, sort of crispy lookingness. It really, really does help to keep everything looking fresh. So moving on to the next one, we've got now this is just one of those favourites. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade 1, and here it is. And it's literally just a compact powder, but this just, the airbrush finish, the name says it all. It really does just keep everything smooth. Everything is smoother, everything is nicer, everything is more settled. Like, it just gives that little bit of a up a notch to everything. So especially like my under eyes, honestly guys, I never ever have had to worry about any sort of creasing, any sort of like lines, under eye, wrinkles, anything like that. I never had to worry about that. This year, I don't know if it's stress, I don't know if it's the, you know, that situation that we don't like to speak of it, we don't like to talk of it, but I don't know if it's been that has aged me, but something has. And honestly, like, I can put like my makeup on how I used to before, and I will look so dry and wrinkly and sad under my eyes, and this makes all of that go away. Granted, now I have stepped up my skincare routine, I have stepped up my application of my products. I don't cake on the concealer like I used to, I don't cake on the foundation like I used to. Like, that didn't help, obviously. I've had to adapt and overcome, but this just really does help with that nice flawless look to your skin. And if there's any sort of like problem areas that you're worried about, like if you have like dry skin, oily skin, it just is one of those all-rounders that is just good with every skin type. So it is pricey, but in the long run it is kind of worth it as well. Now, bronzing. First off, I do have a few like bronzery options I have been enjoying, but first off is the Sol Body Bronzing Balm, and this is in shade medium. I don't know if I've used this like on my channel before. Every day I use it, but I don't know if I've used it on my channel, just because I feel like Colourpop is like one of those brands that, like, if you're in the UK or if you're not in America, it's just one of those brands that's like, you feel like it's a ball ache to even try and get a hold of. And honestly, Colourpop is so simple, like, to get a hold of. Like, it actually is. It's just one of those that, like, in your head you're like, oh no, it's a bit hard, is that in it? It's actually not. Like, you put everything in your basket, you spend over a certain amount to get your free international shipping, and they now have this thing where you can just tick and it does all the custom fees and taxes for you. So it's just like a normal checkout procedure now. So what's not to love? But yeah, this bronzing balm is just, it is the perfect colour. There are so many colours anyway, but this particular for me, this medium, is the perfect colour. It's the perfect like sort of consistency. It just melts away like a dream. Honestly, it did really get me over my fear of like cream products, because it's just one of those that you tap with your brush, you tap on your skin, and it's blended. It's honestly that simple. Like, I can't stress enough how easy it is to use. If you are one of these people that is like scared of cream products, honestly, give this a go, because it will just get you over that fear, honestly. It's so creamy, it leaves the nicest finish to your skin. You don't have to set it. Like, I feel with this, because it's a balm and not technically just like a liquid or a cream, it kind of does set in place where you want it to. It's not like that sort that spreads everywhere throughout the day. It will actually sit nicely with that nice finish. You don't have to set it really if you don't want to. And it just has that lovely like dewy, fresh look to it. So if you haven't tried it, honestly, you need to. Again, another one that is recommended. Honestly, I feel like all I do here is just repeat things that other people say, but they are right. At the end of the day, if they're right, they're right. So this is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer, and it is the shade Mahogany. Now, this is the best colour for bronzing, that sort of like warm, sun-kissed colour. This is it in a bottle. This is it. And it's one of these that, because it's a high coverage, long wearing concealer, you put it on, you blend it in, you don't necessarily have to set it, it will stay there. And it's just the most gorgeous colour. Like, I can't get over how good a colour this specific shade is for your contouring. I do have my actual colour of Can't Stop Won't Stop, because it is that good a concealer, it's high coverage, it's long wearing, like it is a go-to. But there is just something about it as a cream bronzer that is just fantastic. So again, if you're one of these that's a little bit scared about cream products, give this a go. Tiny bit at a time. So how I started with this, tiny bits, work it in, then do your next bit of your face. You don't blather it all on and then try and blend it out when it's been sat there and stuff, because it is a concealer at the end of the day. But if you work in little stages, little by little, honestly, a dream. And for me, because my acne scarring is actually here, like where I would apply bronzer, this sort of high coverage concealer as a cream contour is absolutely brilliant for me, because I need that coverage. So this is an oldie but a goodie. It was a repurchase. This is the NARS Laguna bronzer, and this is just the perfect, I wouldn't say personally, I don't think it's a perfect bronzer shade, but I do think it is for me the perfect contour shade. Now I will go in with a cream product first. So I'll go in with, say, my Can't Stop Won't Stop as a cream bronzer, and then this to add a little bit more dimension. So with my cream bronzer I can come farther into my face, farther down my forehead to really give that like moulded goodiness. And then with this is the sculpting. This is where that high cheekbone comes in, that snatched look. Like this does that. When you layer up products, when you have your cream product and then your powder product as well, that layering up of different textures, of slightly different shades, a little bit deeper, a little bit darker, really does, it just adds more dimension to your face. You will look so much different when you start doing that, when you start having that in your makeup routine. And I was one of these that was very, very set in my ways to begin with, where I was like, no, I don't use any sort of cream products. I use the same powder as I always have, the same bronzer. And with makeup you can experiment and you can just give little things a go, and sometimes they work very well, and this is one of those times. So next we have the Doll Beauty Doll Light Duo. Now this is a highlighting duo, and I have used Champagne Supernova for a while now. This is Shine Bright and Like a Diamond, and honestly these highlighters anyway, Doll Beauty highlighters are amazing. These shades, I can't even get across how nice they are on the skin. Like these tones, for like me personally, a pale ass bitch, honestly they are so nice. And because you've got that like slightly deeper shade, the slightly lighter shade, you really can layer these up together. You can have that darker shade with that pop of highlight, the lighter one on top, and it really just, they are so nice. Like I went without Doll Beauty for so long, and honestly it is possibly one of the worst mistakes of my life. You can clearly tell that I don't make a lot of mistakes, but that was one of them. Really, you do need to know. If you don't know, get to know. You really, really do, because they are fantastic. Next up is, this is my favourite blush of all time. My favourite blush of all time. And it's not even a blush. This is the P. Louise coloured base in Cute in Coral, and oh, it is the most perfect coral shade. A pastel coral. It is absolutely gorgeous, and because it is a base, it will stay, it will not move, but it always has that dewy finish. Because these are primarily eyeshadow bases, if you don't want them to look wet, they need setting. So this, as a blush, the colour alone amazing, but that finish of like that dewiness, but that doesn't move, it's dewy, but it doesn't move, so you don't have to worry about a cream product that you don't set slipping and sliding down your face, because it just doesn't do it. It's just fantastic. And I'm pretty sure these at the moment are like £5. So I have Cute in Coral, and I also have Pretentious Peach, I think the other shade is. I do like Pretentious Peach as a blush shade, but this one is my all-time favourite. This is the favourite, the best blush I have ever used. And honestly, I can't see myself going back on that. Like, the formula is great. Even though it's not a blush, the formula is fantastic. The finish is gorgeous. And the long wear, because it is a base, it stays there. I don't ever have to think of, oh, it's a blush, it'll, you know, oh, we've got to top it up. There's none of that. There's none of that. So, amazing. And I'm sure it's been discontinued. I'm sure it's £5 because it's been discontinued. So I'm going to have to buy at least 12. That's the only option. Now, speaking of P. Louise, speaking of the bases, I have to have the original P. Louise base. Rumour 1. I probably could get a better shade of this because it is a tiny, tiny, tiny bit too light. But I don't care. Like, you're never going to sway me. Now that I'm on the hype, I'm on the train, I'm staying there, I'm never getting off sort of thing. It is fantastic. I have the Revolution base. It's okay. Does it crease? Yes. Is it as good a formula as this? No. Have I ever had anything that's as good a formula as this? No. This is just one of those products that it's unique, it's on its own level, you're not going to get anything better than it, and that's kind of the end. There's no point in trying. Honestly, it's one of those hyped products for a reason. It's not one of these like, oh, it's fantastic, and it's actually a load of balls. This is amazing. I've never tried anything as good, and for making your shadows pop, I didn't really understand it at first. It was only in maybe the past 4 or 5 years that I even used an eyeshadow base, if you get what I mean. Like, I just kind of used to do the whole concealer, translucent powder, and then put my eyeshadows on. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but this was me. And now that I've tried it, I would never, ever, ever go back. And yeah, so if you ever think that you're struggling slightly with your eyeshadow game, or, oh, the colour doesn't look like it does in the pan, this is the answer. It is slightly hard to work with at first. Well, it's not really. It's not how you think it is. If you watch the P. Louise Instagram and you're like, oh my god, it goes on, it's like a wash of colour and that's all you can see and it never creases, blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. It is a thick consistency concealer, basically. But the coverage is high. It does crease if you, for me, I have hooded eyes, so literally as soon as I open my eyes, there is a fold in my eyes. Obviously, it's going to sink in there, but for when I am putting my eyeshadow on, and I'm like this, my eye is, fully, there's no creasing, then there will be no creases. Obviously, it's going to happen when I open. If I put the base on and sat here with my eyes open, it'd start to sink into there, because that's just gravity, that's just physics, it's what it does. But for being a base, for applying your eyeshadow on and then setting it in, my eyeshadow won't move now. Because I've put the base on and I've put my eyeshadow on when my eye wasn't creased or anything like that, it'll stay like that. There'll be no creasing of that at all, ever. I know for a fact that I could wear that on a night out and my eyes would look as good at the end of the night, after, all the drink, all the spilled drinks, all the dancing, all the sweating, all the rain, because we live in England, that it would still be the same. It'd look just as good. So it's one of those, it's trustworthy. So we're coming to the end now, but I needed to include this because this is one of those new products. It's only a recent sort of buy for me, really. The Inglot Duraline. Now this is basically a mixing medium, so you can put your eyeshadows, your actual eyeshadow, your pressed eyeshadows, or even your pigments, anything like that. You can put a few drops of this in with that pigment or eyeshadow or anything, it will turn it into a liquid. It will turn it into a liquid so that you can instant eyeliner. So all these times that I was buying, like, you know, the potted eyeliners, the eyeliner gel, or the water activated eyeliner, there was no need for that because there is this. I don't know why I've never tried this before. I'd seen it, but I thought, oh, it won't work. And then I got it, and I was like, well, it does work, Charlotte. You know, you've been seeing people use it for years, and you've just never tried it. What a tip! And it's fantastic. Like, I have been doing so many like shimmery eyeliners. My YouTube compared to my Instagram is completely different. Like my YouTube, I go through looks, what I like to do with them, different products, blah blah blah. My Instagram is just, wow, I'm feeling really, really bougie. I want to do some intricate, colourful makeup looks. And it's all like about the shadows and the liner and stuff. Whereas like on my YouTube, I actually like to talk about like, oh, my base products. So it is completely different. So if you actually are more inclined on, you know, scrolling through and seeing loads of different eyeshadow looks and things like that, my Instagram is probably where you need to be. So that is down below, so do have a look. And I use this all the time. Like, I'll go in and a look just looks so much nicer when instead of having like, instead of having a black eyeliner, a brown eyeliner looks so much nicer than a black one. And so this is actually, when you mix this in, it becomes waterproof. So you can actually use this on your waterline. You can use it anywhere, for art, for goddamn freckles if you really wanted to. It is so versatile, and yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed in myself that I just never tried it sooner, really. So this is your warning. You need to try it, or you're going to be really, really sad with yourself like I was. So we're on to the final product, and here we have it, the Be Perfect Carnival 3 Love to Heat palette by Stacey Marie. And honestly, like, the front of it alone is absolutely fantastic. And then, you know, you open it up and then just shit gets real. It is just amazing. There's everything that you could want in here. Literally everything. The shimmers are gorgeous. The colour story is laid out so I know exactly what to do with it. I can't really stand palettes where the colours are just placed here, there and everywhere, because I need that little bit of help. I need that little bit of, oh look at this dark green, you can blend it into this like bluey green, or oh look at this orange, it can be blended into this row of colour. Like, I just need that little bit of a push to help. Like, I just want that. I find like palettes like this where they're laid out properly, I just find them a little bit more inspiring. So yeah, I don't know if I've actually used this on my channel on YouTube, but I use this every single Instagram look that I do. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be this. It's going to be. There'll be, even if I've had to use, even if I've been using another palette for the look, I'll have to dig into this for something. It's one of those like, oh, I really need a lime green. Oh, it's there. Oh, I really need like a pop of like orange. It's there. Oh, I could really do with, you know, a really gorgeous purple shimmery eyeliner. It's there. You know what I mean? It's one of those, and it's just, I always pick it up. If I'm ever feeling inspired, that is the palette that I pick up. If I see an eyeshadow look on Insta and think, oh, I want to try that, that is the palette that I go to, because I know everything is going to blend, nothing's going to stick, because on a lot of eyeshadow palettes, I always find that I have little tiny dry bits here. Right at the corners, I have little tiny dry patches on my eyes, on my eyelids, and I know for a fact every single palette I own, bar Be Perfect, I always have trouble blending out that little tiny outer corner where that dry bit is. These, no, there's none of that. So I know for a fact if I'm wanting to do a look and I'm not quite sure of like, oh, it might be, oh, that looks a bit hard to blend. Right, okay, get this out, because you can trust it. So it really is one of those all-rounders. It's got all the colours in there that you need. It's laid out perfectly so you know what you're doing, and you're not going to have any problems with the blending or anything like that. So honestly, I don't think I can stress enough how much you need some of these products. Most of these products. So guys, that is all my August favourites. What did we think? I feel like I say that at the end of every video. What did we think? But honestly, what did we think? Have you guys tried any of these? Do you like them as much as I do? Do you absolutely hate them? I fail to believe how you could, but comment down below your favourites, because it could just be that your favourite turns out to be my favourite next month. So do let me know, because I do like to keep in the loop. But yes, that is the end of the video. So thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed and you seem to like this sort of thing, this is all we pretty much do here. It's just makeup. It's just playing with makeup, loving makeup. So please do feel free to subscribe if that's something that you might be interested in. Thank you for watching. Thank you all for coming with me on my little YouTube journey. It does actually mean a lot to me. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.